Hi, I'm Nicole Formosa. I'm the managing editor of Bike Magazine, and we're here at the 2015 Bible of Bike Test in Bend, Oregon. And tonight we're talking about the Cannondale Scalpel Carbon 29.2, which is sort of the middle of the Scalpel range. It retails for just under $6,000, and it's a full XC bike, light, fast. What you guys think? Did it fit the bill?
This bike is purebred XC race. It actually rides like a hardtail does. You have to ride it like a hardtail in a way because, like, on the climbs, you just have to stand up and give her. Like, you, in rock gardens, you don't get to sit down and have it soak anything up. Like, it's, I mean, it feels like a soft tail, really.
Yeah, it's a really, I don't know, maybe a progressive 4 inches of travel. It's,
yeah.
You know, I mean, 4 inches isn't a lot in the first place, right? But you're right, it's not a whole lot of cushion. But I mean, that is the Scalpel's thing. It's been that way since, what, like 1999.
Yeah.
It's been about getting up and hammering. You know, that said, since I didn't get much, you know, relief out of the rear end, I just kept it open all the time. Even though it has a really cool lock out there on the left-hand side that does the fork and the rear suspension, I just left it open.
Me too, and it's, I mean, I don't think there's ever been a more appropriate name for a bike because of the way the thing handles.
There's not a whole lot of leeway with it. Like, it's, you have to be on top of it. It climbs really well when you do stomp on it, even though, you know, 4 inches of travel, which is nowadays not considered that much, and it's not a super active, really sophisticated 4 inches of travel, but it's got traction when you're climbing. It doesn't care whether you're sitting or standing up. If you want to hammer, it's there, it's doing it. As soon as you slack off, uphill or downhill, it kind of will, if you're not on your game, it's the kind of bike that will bite you in your ass.
Yeah, or cut you like a scalpel.
Cut you like a knife.
Do you guys think there's still, you know, is this bike, is it still relevant in the market today?
Totally.
Yeah,
I mean, racer. Yeah.
There's people shaving all the way to their gonads and wearing heart rate monitors, and they want to win races, and this thing is good for that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's light, it's stiff, crazy stiff.
It's what, a 71.5 degree head angle? Is that what?
Yeah.
So, in 29-inch terms, a few years ago, that was considered, well, it's kind of what you have to do. You have to make a 29-inch steeper. But now, most of the 29-inch bikes we're looking at here are 70 degrees or less. Yeah. This is a legitimate, old-school, steep-handling bike, but at the same time, it's got kind of long chainstays and kind of a long wheelbase. Yeah. And when you start going fast, it's stable. It's got super stiff chassis, carbon fiber front and rear, and it doesn't budge at all. The lefty fork is super stiff. The whole bike, like from front to back, it's like a Scalpel. It cuts a straight line. It
feels like a Formula One car does. I would imagine.
Drive if you've ridden a Formula One car on a single track.
But I mean, yeah, it's. I think it's interesting, but it is a top contender for like XC race bikes. I think like it's a top 5 bike for sure in that category, and I mean. I don't know. I had a good time riding it, but you have to be on your game. If you slack off for a second, like you said, it's game over. Like the thing will just pitch you off the trail, you know, like because it's so stiff and so precise that.
Right. Because I don't think it's squirrely. It's just
it's not squirrely.
No.
Yeah, I don't want to mistake it for that.
Yeah.
But if you're on your game, it flat out smokes. Like it was far and away the fastest bike I rode up the hill yesterday. I was timing every ride I did, and it was also lucky to be the first bike up, but it was substantially faster than the other bikes on the day. Just
in talking about being on your game, I thought it rode better at speed. Like when we hit those chunky, not rock gardens, but really chunky sections of trail. I didn't think the rear end was going to be that great on it, but it actually tracked reasonably well over the big stuff. And I wouldn't have guessed that at all. At speed, the rear suspension works pretty damn well.
Yeah, it's not a lot of it.
For what it is.
For what it is.
Yeah.
But it does give you traction, that's for sure.
What do you think about the component choice on this bike? Do you think it's appropriate for what it is?
Yeah, XO1, one by, you know,
1 by chainring seems to be
speed.
Everything now, doesn't it?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it depends if I lived in a more mountainous area or, well, you know, I do. So I would have gone maybe slightly smaller chainring, but then again, I'm also not like super manly razor dude. So for razors, that's probably totally appropriate.
If you're putting on the skin suit, you probably want an even bigger chainring. I don't know.
Yeah. Obviously, he's got the lefty fork going on, and you know, I didn't I wasn't as in love with the way this particular version of the Lefty felt compared to some of the ones I've ridden on Triggers, longer travel packages of it. But again, because it just didn't feel like a whole lot of suspension. But it's 4 inches, it's not supposed to be a lot. The one thing that I think people freak out is they think it's going to be super flexy. And again, it's an incredibly stout. It's
not
light
at all.
It's incredibly stout, and yeah, I mean, people keep going, oh, those forks look so sketchy, but
and it kind of matched what the rear was on the bike too.
Totally.
It just stiff, but it's there and it works. And if you're hauling ass, it works fine. It's if you're slowing down and getting bobbly and technical stuff, then it kind of wiggles around a bit, and the handlebars are maybe a teeny bit high, hard to say. And at low to middle speed, if you're feeling indecisive, it's not going to just coddle you through that kind of stuff. Like, what are you doing?
That's the point I was trying to get to right there.
100%.
Yeah.
Again, gotta be on your game.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's times where I was knackered and I was getting in the rocky uphill sections, and it kind of just sucked.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
It's
know,
not gonna it's not gonna cut you corners. It's not gonna make excuses for you. It's just like, yeah, we're going, guys. It's time to go.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that people would look at as like a play bike or a really an all-round use bike. It's for people who want to do laps, to ride fast, who are totally down with put the skin suit on or run up to the start line and pay careful attention to that kind of stuff.
And pretty committed to the package it comes with.
The package it comes with works well for what it is.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I don't look at that as a drawback. In spite of what you were mentioning about the stem and some of the proprietary parts to it, it works for what that is. Like as a race bike,
it's pretty awesome.
You can pretty much get on that bike out of the box as that sits, and that's what was the price again? Just under $6,000.
Yeah, $59.60 I think.
It's a pretty solid, complete package.
For more bike reviews, go to bikemag.com.